Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Jain, and through this video, I'm going to explain how you can run the large language models on your local machine. Large language model, if you have heard this word, it's the heart of all the AI-based tools which are recently being emerged in the market and talked about a lot. For example, the Chatgpt, Gemini, Deepseek are one which recently got a lot of attention, and which is actually forcing other players to make their large language models publicly available, right? Whenever that happens, that is definitely going to help everyone, because I have been trying to learn and get as much as insight from last few days, and I'm really amazed by seeing the power of these large language model. And in today's video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain you how you can create your own code assistant by using those publicly available large language models. For this, following along with this video, you only need a laptop with the internet connection, right? You don't need any technical expertise. You don't need to understand any artificial related concept or the machine learning language related concept, or the deep learning concept like neural networks and all those stuff. You don't need to learn anything. All you need to do is to just follow me along, and you will be able to run the large language models which are publicly available. So without further delay, let's get into this. Let's get into the section where I'm going to explain what all tools you need to install on your machine. I'm using a window-based machine, but more or less the steps are going to be same. So the very first thing which you will be needing is OLLAMA. OLLAMA, what is OLLAMA, right? If you just search on any of your AI tools, right? For example, the Gemini, ChatGPT, or the Deepseek are one, right? You will get to know, right? So I just try to see, I mean, what these tools are returning us, right? So I just requested, what is OLLAMA? What are the competitors of OLLAMA, right? OLLAMA is an open source tool that allows us to just learn the large language model, right? So what you need is, it's just a platform which you can easily install on any of your machine, right? So here, if you just go to the ollama.com, then you will see the very first page. It says that get up and running with large language models. Run these are the models like OLLAMA, which is I think open source by Meta, and then we have a Deepseek R154, Mistral Gamma, and there are many more. If you just scroll through the link, you will get all those model information, right? So you don't need to worry about that, right? Now, just to install that, all you need to do is to just click on this install, which will ask, okay, which operating system you want to install it. If you have a Mac OS, Linux-based machine, window. So for me, it's a window. I have already installed it, and once you install, once I have already downloaded. So once you download it, right? So if you just go to your download location, then you will find that, your installer is there. You have to just click on that, and then you will get to the your installation package. You just click on that, just follow along with the instruction, and you will be able to run that, right? So what happens is, once you have install, once you have click on that install, because I'm not going to explain that because that would unnecessarily consume my time, you will be able to do that. So once you install that successfully, then this whole llama command line options will be available for you, and if you run it, you will see all these options. It means that your OLLAMA is installed and you are ready to use that, right? The next thing is, which you need to understand is, if you just come down here, the next thing is you have to just go to the models, right? Once you reach to the models, right? So let me just bring in the full screen. Now you can see the models which are publicly available on you through the OLLAMA commands. You can easily just run them, right? But there are a few small things which you have to understand. For example, Deepseek R1, right? If you want to run it on your local machine, then you have to understand these parameters which I'm highlighting, right? Just the very minimal size is 1.5 billion parameters. I'm not going to explain what about the parameters, because you should not be worried about the parameter, because it includes a lot of neural network related concept like biases, weights and all this stuff. So we don't need to worry about them. for now. But once we have more understanding, then probably we will talk about it. Then we have a 7 billion parameters, right? So if you just select any of those, 1 billion, 7 billion, 14 billion, then you can see here the size of those, models are getting changed. So if I select a 14 billion, then you can see the size is 9 GB, right? So you should not be, I mean, because you are just learning, right? So I will say just stick to 1.5 billion for now because it's just having a 1.5, 1.1 GB, right? So once, so the next thing is you can also just see, I mean, the description, like what all, the capability these models are having, right? Now you can see this command, OLLAMA run, and then the model name, right? OLLAMA run Deepseek. You can copy from here and you can just put it here. And you should, if your model is already downloaded, then it's going to just run that. If it is not, then what's going to happen is it's going to first download it and just it will run for you, right? So since it was already downloaded for me, so that's the reason, I just directly get the prompt, right? So before I get into that, the another command which it exposes or give it to us like list, right? So if you just see here, I have already downloaded these four, different DeepSeek based or different publicly available models, right? What I can do for now, probably we can open up a new terminal, okay, and I can try to get a little bit of higher size. Let's assume that 8 billion, right? So let me just copy that. And on a new terminal, let me just put it and try to, since it's not there, so first it's going to download and it's going to run for me, right? Now, what I'm going to do is, but I'm going to run the one which is already downloaded so we can just see the capability of this DeepSeek R1, which is, recently got a lot of hype, right? Since I'm a software developer, then my focus is always gonna be, how it is going to help me from my day-to-day work. Like, so I'm involved in just, developing a lot of softwares, a lot of frameworks, so I'm pretty much, I'm very much inclined towards seeing, I mean, what kind of capability, these DeepSeek R1 models are having through which I can just make myself more efficient and more effective on my day-to-day work, right? So I'll just start with a very simple one. Let's assume that I want to design a microservice, right? And I want those microservices to be communicated through the gRPC server, right? So I just wanted to understand, like, I mean, what kind of help it can provide. So I'm going to ask, please provide me the gRPC server code in Python, which can allow to produce services. Okay, let's see. Okay, now so it's going to, generate the suggestion, and this is something which we are just doing from the local. So information is actually, being forwarded to any server where these models are running. This is completely in our local, right? Same thing. What we can do is we can get this question and we can ask this question to the DeepSeek. Okay, so let's ask the same question here. Let's see what, so this is something where, DeepSeek R1 has, made their code available, right? So there is nothing I should be worried about because I'm not sharing any kind of information which is relevant for my personal identification or my project related stuff, right? So let's see what it does. It seems like, it's creating a lot of information for us. And if I just go back here, okay, so here also it's trying to, give us. So first it is just giving a lot of thoughts, right? How it is just, generating all those information, which seems to be the terminology like LLMs are using is chain of thoughts, right? So it's just giving, I mean, what kind of things he's thinking behind the scene before it's providing you, the solution, which is very impressive. You can see what kind of thinking, DeepSeek is actually doing. Because if you just, run any other, for example, it's not yet done. Let me just try to run another. So I have downloaded this Queen, this one. So let me just try to run that one. Right. So see, it's very powerful, right? It's giving us a code. I'm not sure whether that code is going to be run without any issue or not. That is something which you can play and you can just, figure it out by yourself. But once you have that code, if you get into any issue, you can paste that error, you can share that code, and then that Deepseek will help on that. So that is really awesome as a software developer, right? But the focus is not now to see, I mean, how accurate and what kind of code it's providing. We just need to see the capability first, right? Now I'm going to run the another one, which is dedicatedly created for helping a software developer, which is, this going 2.5 coder, right? So if you just go to the OLLAMA website, okay, that is the so many. Oh, this one. Mhm. DeepSeek. Okay, so we have this DeepSeek R1. Let's search for the model. Okay, it says, okay, Q1 code. So there are so many. Oh, so let me just go back here. Mhm. And try to search if I can find something. Okay, so now here we can see this coder, the latest series of code specific UN models with significant improvement in code. So we can see, 7.5, like, I mean, TB, 7B, right? So this is again, the largest size your machine can accommodate. If you just go for that, you will get more accurate answer, more answers, right? So, but the intention of this video is not to showcase the effectiveness of that, but rather just to get the capabilities we are getting and these large language models to run in a local machine, right? So that looks good. Now we have this twin coder running. So what we can do, we can ask the same question what we have asked DeepSeek. Okay, so DeepSeek has also come up with the suggestion. Okay, this looks good. So we have to install the libraries which are required to have a gRPC server setup. Then there is a protocol buffer, protobuf file, right? That looks good. Then it's a command, how we can just compile the protocol file so that we can just get the server and the client side code, which we can use to just build our own gRPC server. And this looks good, right? Explanation is good. It's all there, right? The best part is, when we are running these tools locally in our machine, we can see very effective, right? So this is for the DeepSeek R1. Now what we can do, we can ask the same question to another large language model, which we have just ran with the help of. So we got this prompt and just click on it. Now there's another large language model which seems to be dedicatedly created for, coding purpose only. So let's see what kind of information we get with this. Okay, so it says that below is the simple example, right? Okay, it's showing us, what kind of additional libraries we need for Python. Then we are getting a protocol buffer file. Okay, cool. And then we are getting how we can compile that proto file with the proto C compiler, which gives us some set of code. Okay, again, this looks good, but I'm not sure. Again, you can get this output and then you can just download the another large language model for the same for the same vendor and try to see if you just get the increased size of our large language model, then how the response gets changed. You can run them, you can run a lot of experiment, whatever you want, right? This is just for the coding perspective, coding hands-on perspective, right? So it seems like we can easily run that. All we need is just OLLAMA install and then we are good to just run all them, right? Now, the another thing is, since it's a command line based, we have another option. So OLLAMA gives us, its own Python library or, programming language based clients, which you can also use, but that is not something which I'm going to cover in this video, probably in future video. If it is required, then I'll do. Now, the next tool which we will be needing, because a lot of people are not very familiar with this command line, interpreter, right? So what they can do now, there is another tool which is known as I'm just calling MSTY. I don't know what other folks are calling it, right? So what it does is it has a direct integration with the OLLAMA, and it has an integration with other platform as well with the API key, and there are many more methods through which you can just get connected to your locally running large language models, or the remotely available large language model. But in this video, we're gonna see how we can just interact with OLLAMA based locally running large language model, and then we can get with a very user friendly UI, and we don't need to worry about the command line arguments and all those kind of stuff, right? So I have already downloaded so here you can see, once you click on that, you can see, I mean, whether you want a Windows machine. If you have a GPU based Windows machine, you can click on that. If you don't have a GPU, you can click the second one. You get the installer, you can click on that, follow the instruction, and you will have a MSTY up and running, right? Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna open a MSTY app. It's opening up. Okay, so once you open this, let me see if I can just make it doc. We have doc. Yeah, I love this star on that one. But anyways, okay. So now this is how you're gonna look like. I mean, this is what you're gonna get on a MSTY, right? So now all you need is, if you just see this part, right, at your right left hand side bottom, here we have this drop down. There you can see all the models which we have downloaded with the help of OLLAMA, right? Let's see, we have Queen 2.5 Coda, Deepseek, Code Llama, 13B, right? So let's see what all we have, right? So if you see OLLAMA list, CLS, okay, see, these are the four MX by embedded Taj, right? Code blah 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 blah. So we have these four large language model downloaded. So we don't need to worry about anything. MSTY is going to find all those stuff by itself, and we just need to click, I mean, which large language model we want to target, right? So if I just click on this Q 2.5 Coda 1.5, again, we can type the same question which we asked through the command line, like, I mean, not we have asked for the gRPC thing, right? So we can copy this question again from here. We can go to the MSTY, and then we can ask the same question here, right? So it's feel like, we have built our own UI. So you don't have to worry about the command line option which OLLAMA is providing you. You all need is, MSTY. So what you can do is you can use the OLLAMA downloaded models. Automatically MSTY will find all those stuff, and it will just create this UI which looks pretty much same like what OpenAI, Chatgpt, Gemini or Claude, or other AI tools are providing. See, we haven't have to do any kind of coding. All we need is just install OLLAMA and MSTY, and we are good to go, right? Here we can see all those stuff, right? So it's pretty easy to just understand, because in command line, I know, if you are not coming from the software development background, then probably you don't find that command line commands very intuitive and very user friendly, right? But if you are a non-technical person, then this is how you can do all those stuff, right? So if I just want to click, let's assume I want to ask Deepseek one, right? Now I want to ask a very simple question, okay? Like, I mean, what is distributed system? How one can become data for distributed systems. Okay, if I ask this question to Deepseek, right? Good. So it's just trying to build that, right? Same question you can copy here, and you can ask to ChatGPT, Gemini, or whatever, the AI tool you like, and you feel that okay, that giving you best responses. What I do is I always try to just go to all the AI tools which are available in the market, and it's free, I always try to use it and get, the responses from every tool and try to just compare them to see, which one is actually doing the magic for me, and right, which one is actually making me more efficient, right? So in nutshell, right, you have to be very smart in just utilizing the power of all these tools rather than getting into, which one is best, because every tool is available for you, right? Get to all the AI tools, get to all the specific AI tools which are meant or built around the coding. If you are interested in software development role and kind of stuff, you can get there and you can just understand, like, what capabilities and strength these tools are having, right? And then you can just decide what should be the best option for you. But I would suggest always go for all the tools, try to get the answer, because every time you will just look for any explanation, theoretical question, or coding related stuff, you will get different responses. That way you will just get to know, for building a one solution, there can be a for building a solution for one problem, there can be a multiple solutions, and probably if you just combine all of them, probably you will get some more innovative ideas to get the solution for the same problem, right? So it is actually going to make you more efficient, more innovative, and more creative, right? And that's the reason I'm saying I'm not afraid that these tools are going to take away our jobs for say, at least in near future, because if you just see the language which these additional tools which are designed around software development, they always say code assistant. They are not saying that it's something which through which you can just generate the code which is going to work for you. And I know if you just take out any code, you need a lot of time to fix them, clean them, probably that. But doing on Google Stack Overflow, that's very time consuming. What it is doing, it's compiling all the information, getting the best solution and providing to you. And but all those things which you have to do it manually now, these large language models is actually doing for you. And I found that ChatGPT is also giving a lot of additional features. Then it's completely depends upon the innovation of individual person, like what kind of innovative solution they can provide to you to just make your life more easy, right? So that's pretty much it, right? Which I want to cover in this. I know very straightforward. All you need is OLLAMA MSTY, and then you just run some OLLAMA based command. You can go to those websites. I will just provide the link of those websites, and you can just explore all the options which OLLAMA is providing, right? And you can just see create, show, run, blah those kind of thing. If you want to just pull the model, not you want to run it, right? So you can see, it's still 22% probably. The net speed is very slow for me. Right? So probably I can just say bye. This one, right? This looks good. You can explore, OLLAMA, then you can explore, MSTY as well, like what all options it's provide to you. There are so many like remote model provider, and there is a knowledge stake as well. If you just see knowledge stakes, if you want to use that, that is something where you can just set the very specific context along with, the large language models. What it does is, let's assume that you have one in my opinion, if you have a code repository, you can just feed that code repository the way it's required, because it provides its own embedding model, which going to convert your data, your information into the large language model, which it can understand as context, right? So it's creating an embedding for you, which is, again, I don't want to get into that word embedding, what happens when we feed the data to the our models, right? How we can feed that data, because that is required to understand what is word embedding and then vectorization and all those kind of stuff. So I don't want to get into that detail for now, because I wanted to keep it this to be followed by anyone, whether you have any technical knowledge or not. If you are not technical person, you should be able to run all these models locally by yourself, right? Okay, so you can explore all these things by yourself. If you have any question, if you face any problem, feel free to just put that into the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching this and keep learning new things. And I'm really excited about seeing the capability of all these tools. Earlier, I was thinking of just a few days back when I didn't understand, all these things from the very deep level, right? But now I'm trying to understand as much as I can. So that I can just build my own code assistant. Probably in a next coming video I will do that. But in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just explain these artificial intelligence tools are not yet to the position where it can replace, software developer in just one go. It's definitely, but by seeing all the capabilities these tools are providing, it's going to make us more effective, more efficient, and believe me, you're going to be a more innovative and creative in terms of providing us solutions, right? So explore these tools, the way I explained, or if you have a different way to just explore all these large language models in a different way, do it and just try to understand the capabilities and the power of these tools by yourself. So as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning a new thing. And we will just meet in another video with a new topic.